Hey, how's it going? It's Blake.
And Jackson. Sorry, I forget we do. I forget we do that. I don't do that on my other
Crickets
show. So
chirping.
no, usually like
Stellar
on my
performance.
other show, like I lead in with the intro, and then I'm like, and joining me today is so and so. So I'm sorry. I'll get better at that. I promise.
20 lashes. Inexcusable.
Maybe I like that. Who knows?
um, but yeah, so we had some like, pretty good variety of things to talk about today. I tried to choose some stuff that was you know some a little bit out of the ordinary from the usual, just like war and poverty and corruption and shit. But just same old, same old. But so Jackson, what have you been up to this past week?
This past week, I am recovering. I was not feeling well at all this week. Um,
Uh,
this past week, if anybody's into dinosaurs, the docu series Prehistoric Planet dropped, and I've seen the first three episodes, and they're all terrific, and I'm excited to see the other two episodes.
that's cool.
Highly, highly recommend. It's narrated by David Attenborough,
Oh, awesome.
and it's got very good animation. The reconstructions are very well done. They're very up to date because they actually brought in paleontologists to inform how to do the
That's
reconstructions.
cool.
I mean, the thing that's really funny is it's like the commercials for Prehistoric Planet were going at the same time as like the Jurassic World Part 3
Right,
commercials. So you really see the difference, like the Jurassic World Velociraptor versus like what the Velociraptor actually look like, you know?
right. Oh, feathery little turkeys.
Right, yeah, it's like a little turkey versus this like 6 foot tall scaly monster, it's so funny the
Right.
difference. Anyway, what
I heard
about you?
something recently. I heard something recently that they found, or they theorized that pterodactyls had like toucan like feathers on their wings, like really
Yes.
pretty vibrant feathers.
Yeah, the hypothesis that pterosaurs had some sort of beta keratin filaments on their wings goes back a few years now, but there's been a lot of questions as to what were they for, and did any other archosaurs or archosauromorphs, I guess, have these these like beta keratin filaments? Well, it turned out in a recent paper that there were melanosomes recovered from a pterosaur's beta keratins, and so they were used for signaling at the very least. Possibly they were also used for insulation, but it seemed they were used in mate recognition also.
That's cool.
And then, of course, these evolved into like true feathers in the theropod dinosaurs later on.
Hmm.
So yeah, cool stuff.
Well, I've been up to a whole lot of nothing. Well, I was able to finally get my medication, which was very nice because I was sick of being irritable and sad all the time. But funnily enough, whenever I went to pick up my meds before work a couple days ago, there was this. I heard this noise, and the pharmacy I went to was in a Brookshire's pretty close by my house, and it's normally pretty quiet in there. This was on like a Friday morning, so wasn't expecting it to be too busy. But I just hear something loud. I was like, "What is that?" And it starts getting a little closer. I was like, "Are someone arguing in here? Like I've never seen someone make a scene in here so far." And then this guy rounds this corner, and there's this very very large overweight man on one of those mobility scooters, and he is just singing his heart out. Some really upbeat, happy song, and I'm just like, good for him. I just look over to the pharmacist. And I'm like, well, someone's having a good morning at
Oh
least.
my god, there was a guy. This may be the same guy. When I worked at Brookshire's, there was a dude who did that. He would just like go around the store just singing as loud as he possibly could, and it's like that's
Well,
great, man. But here, I'm
yeah,
glad
no, the
you're happy,
Berkshire's
my guy.
Berkshire's I'm talking about is in Benton.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know. It's the last thing
Mm,
I wanted to hear when I
maybe
was at
maybe
work.
maybe that's a new type of guy out there. Just overweight guys on mobility scooters singing in stores.
Maybe they're all like in a choir together or something.
We've unlocked a new character.
This, yes, absolutely.
But other than that, I've mostly just been working. Been doing a bunch of random shit for my parents just because they're getting older, and they're constantly finding new projects and stuff to work on. And since they're getting old to the point where their bodies are kind of breaking down, like they need a lot more help with things. So I get dragged into everything that they do, and so like, hey Blake, can you move this? Hey Blake, can you pick? I had to pick up all these rocks that were inside this little atrium in our house, and just scooping up rocks, picking up all these tiny little pieces of gravel, putting them into buckets, wheelbarrowing them out to this pile, and just dumping them there. Just doing that for like hours, and I was like, how many fucking rocks are in here? So eventually, we ended up getting most of them out of there, and then I had to break up this concrete. I don't know if you saw it last time you were over here, but essentially someone had turned a kiddie pool, coated it with concrete and this wire mesh, and then put a fountain in the middle of it. Now that's all fine and dandy, except for the fact that it looks tacky as hell. So we wanted to get rid of it for a while now. So we busted up the concrete. I had to take those chunks out, and the plan is to take the swimming pool out, then use those chunks of concrete to fill up the hole, and then we're just going to pour concrete over the whole thing. And then that way we can have a more stable place for my mom to put her house plants at. But it's
Okay.
gonna be nice once it's all said and done.
Okay. Nice. I mean, I've only been out
Yepperoni.
there just the one time, and we didn't even get to play pool. So
I know, dude. What are you doing on I don't know, next time you're off? But
are
like
we doing this right now on the podcast?
no, no, no. I'll talk to you later. But
Okay.
yeah, man. Like I keep begging people to come out here. I'm like, guys, it's pretty sick. It's a nice, big, spacious house. I've got a freaking pool table for crying out loud. I've got an extra bedroom. You can stay the night. It's all tight. Because we had neither of those at the old house. Our old house was tiny
Yeah.
compared to this. Um,
Hey, I mean, the couch was always nice. Like,
yeah,
I'd always only like stay the night. I think when we had like a party. So it'd be like 4 or 5 of us all just like sleeping in the living room together.
yeah.
Anyway, uh,
Those are good times.
always good times. Yeah. You ready to jump into the nudes?
Sure.
All right. Well, I just picked one thing. I saw you got a bunch of stuff.
Mhm.
So the thing that I got, the narrowing of the front lines in Ukraine. So if anybody remembers, uh, Russia claimed that the war, their blitzkrieg, as it was, of Ukraine would take place like what 2 weeks max, something like that, and they
That's
would
what they
have
all say.
decapitated the Ukrainian government and the military and just assumed control. Well, that was in what, March,
February.
February, yeah, and here we are in late May, about to start June, and so here's a picture which outlines the situation. As you can see, Russia originally, and also with assistance from Belarus, was invading basically the sort of I guess parametrically along the eastern side, and they tried to push into Kiev. There was heavy fighting around there, as you can see, and of course in the Donbass and Luhansk region, which has now become the only zone of fighting because the Russians have gotten their butts handed to them on all fronts. So they basically had to refocus all their forces.
Which I think it's weird because, like, what do they want with the Donbass? Why not focus all your troops on the capital?
War of attrition.
Mm.
Just take it piece by piece by piece until you've taken everything. If you can't take it all at once, take it piecemeal.
Well,
So
they took Mariupol, and that was I saw a lot of combat footage from that. It was pretty intense. Um,
yeah,
yeah, so Azov got wiped out, or a lot of them
right.
surrendered.
hmm
I wonder what the Russians are going to think about those weird cult like ritual sites that they have for that old Slavic religion they have. Like do you know what I'm talking about? Those Azov people practice that weird like neo-Nazi paganism, but since they're Slavs, they use like Slavic old deism, and uh, they've got these like shrines and stuff like that.
I
Have you
did
heard about
not
any of
know.
that? Really? Yeah, all these Azov people practice this weird like old folk religion from like Slavic culture, and It's kind of like how like over here we've got those people like the Buffalo guy that stormed the Capitol. He's into that weird neo-Nazi diet thing
Oh,
where
yeah, I remember
yeah,
him.
yeah. So it's very similar to that. But
Okay.
yeah, actually, one of my things that I picked out later on, I don't know if you might want to segue right into that, but it had to do with Ukraine. It says
Uh,
Kremlin officials.
sure. I can scroll down to it. Uh, Kremlin officials think Russia can win Ukraine war by fall, predicting allies will get tired of helping, report says.
So what do you think about them apples?
I doubt it. I mean, if anything, it seems like the allies are giving more assistance as time has gone on. Like, I mean, even, Finland and Sweden are, like, joining,
NATO.
yeah, joining NATO, so, like, I doubt it. I feel like we're just gonna keep sending tanks and AA guns and all sorts of stuff to Ukraine until this is over.
I was watching this footage of this UK and United States Foreign Legion troops fighting Russians. Like I didn't even know that we even had a Foreign Legion. The only Foreign Legion I've heard of that's famous is the French Foreign Legion.
Hmm.
But I'm sure you've probably heard of them.
I I also think it's um. Oh dear, I lost the thread.
Oh dear.
Um. Nope, I can't remember now. Uh. Oh yeah, I
And
do.
it's
I
gone.
remember. There was allegations this week of Russia rolling out like tanks from the 1950s
Dang.
because they are that low on tanks. Now I don't know if that's just propaganda, but that was something I saw this week. So do with that what you will, I guess.
Well, their main tank now is just a heavily upgraded version of the one they've had since the early '70s. So I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's the T-72, and after that it was the T-80 something, which was just a upgraded version of the T-72. And they did it again with the '90s, and I think they have a new one that they only did a came out with a couple of years ago, but I could be wrong on that.
I don't know.
The
I don't know.
second they start rolling out T-34s like from World War II, I'm just gonna shit bricks. Like that's just gonna be insane.
I mean, it may not be much longer at this rate, because despite the fact that they are putting all of their resources at this point into like fighting in the Donbass region, they're not making much headway. The fighting has intensified, but they're not making much headway. So,
Look, based on that map you saw, it looks like they've pretty much taken the Donbass. If those
well,
colors are to be front lines of the battlefield, then it looks like they've already taken it.
they basically took the Donbass region from the beginning. Like the fighting was always along that region, as long as
Mm-hmm.
along with north and south of the region.
Right.
But now the fighting is basically solely restricted to the Donbass region, with a little bit of fighting north. So
I wonder how this is all going to pan out. I wonder if because I don't think Russia's going to give up anytime soon.
I don't either. I mean, because let's be real, their army is way, way bigger than the Ukrainian forces.
Ukraine's, yes.
So even if, I mean, it's just a slugging match at this point, right? And Russia
Yeah.
has the forces to hold out a lot longer, I think, than Ukraine does. So, at any rate,
You said something that reminded me. You said a slugging match. That reminded me of this time I was on the front porch with one of my friends, and it was really late at night, and he saw a slug, and he was like, "Watch this!" And he just like took his lighter and held it up to the slug, and I'm like, "No, stop, you fucking monster!" And he just kept doing it, and like its skin started turning white and like foaming up and shit. I'm just like, "Why would you do that to this poor slimy little thing?"
yeah, that's
But he
terrible.
thought it was funny.
Your friends are psychopaths, Blake.
I know. I have a lot of friends that I think are pretty crazy people.
Well, here
But
I am, I
that's the way.
guess,
That's the way I like it. I like. I mean, it makes life interesting. I don't spend a lot of time with boring people.
I guess that's fair. Can't argue with that. You want to go to your next story?
Yeah, sure.
Biden, U.S. would intervene militarily to defend Taiwan.
Mm.
Thoughts on that?
I I think that's a pretty bold statement. That he's just basically because China's been kind of creeping around the corner with Taiwan since this whole Russia Ukraine thing popped off, and I think they're kind of like maybe we could try that. But then again, what do I know? But I think that for him to say like yeah for sure we would send military aid or we would get involved militarily is I don't know. That's some pretty strong saber rattling for the Democratic Party. But then again, so Hillary was really wanting to go to war with Russia. It sounded like whenever she was running.
Oh, she wanted a no-fly zone in. What was it? Was it Iran?
I think so.
She wanted a no-fly zone from like day one of her presidency, and everyone was like, "Are we going to start World War III day one of Hillary's presidency?" Um, which I doubt it, but at the same time, like, because what was it? No, there was also that thinking when Trump had the second in command of was it Iran? Was it Iran? He had like the um
Who
second
are you
highest.
talking about?
Trump had like the second highest political official.
Soleimani?
Yeah, who was what country was that?
That was Iran.
That was Iran. Yeah, okay.
I'm pretty sure. Don't
Um,
quote me on that.
but Trump had him offed, right? And everyone, for a moment there, again, everyone was like, "Oh, is this how World War III starts?" Which, like, really, with Iran? I mean,
Yeah.
um,
I can't wait till India starts to get in the mix because they keep touting that they're going to be a world power by like 2030 or 2050 or something like that.
no, I can
Because
wait because as soon as they get into it with Pakistan, it's over.
right.
I don't.
I just think it'll be interesting because India's population takes up roughly 1/6 of the world's population, and China is another 1/6. So, um, just by the natives of those countries alone, not including diaspora, Chinese and Indian people make up about a third of the human race, which I think is a crazy statistic.
Sure, sure, yeah.
That is, if the Chinese Communist Party's stats are to be believed. So a lot of people have accused them of inflating their
Oh no, not
numbers.
China of all countries.
I
They
know, right?
wouldn't do that.
Some people estimate that they only have like 500 million or something like that instead of like like closer to like a billion or like 900 million something like that.
Well, the vast majority of their populace is along the East Coast, right?
Right.
Because the West Coast is like deserts and mountains.
Yeah, and then like in the central area, actually, it's been a lot more connected. Did you see that map of like a building of Chinese metro stations and train like highways from like 2002 and then like
Oh
now
yes, yeah, I've seen it.
they like they're really industrious. Like they're really good at what they do. I wish that
Yes.
we had bullet trains and stuff over here. We
Oh,
can
I
use our
do too.
outdated railroad system.
I've been saying that a lot for the past like year or so. Is at least between the state capitals, right? If we could have high speed
Right.
rails at least between the state capitals, I'd be happy.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Like you could, it's a 4 hour drive. Well, yeah, it's a 4 hour drive to Baton Rouge, then get on a train to like Tallahassee. You know, that'd be cool. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, yeah. And
Or go the opposite direction, go to Austin. You know.
mhm. Yeah, I've always wanted to go to Austin. Seems like a cool place.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I was only there for a weekend, but and I really didn't see all that much. But it seems pretty cool. So
I want to go to the music festival, Austin City Limits. It looks they usually have some pretty good headliners there.
yeah.
I did go to a music festival in San Marcos, Texas, which is in the middle of freaking nowhere. And it was a festival called Float Fest, and basically uh, at the campgrounds, you camp at the festival. Is the end point for like a river float. So they do is you get on these buses and they drive you up the river, give you a tube, and you just sort of float down it. And it was great. I mean, I drank a lot of beer and had my first cigar. It got hella dehydrated and got a headache. Then proceeded to chug water whenever I got back. Yeah, and also one of our friends lost their phone, which was really tragic.
That is pretty rough. Oh, I did also want to say with regard to the, um, defending of Taiwan. We do have a military treaty with Taiwan, which effectively states that, like, in the event that they get invaded, we would have to send military forces to assist them.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So while I also have heard that China is eyeing Taiwan, they have to know, so that wouldn't end well for anybody.
Right.
That's my thought.
They're poking the sleeping bear.
Right. We have what's the line from what is it, Tora, or whatever? Like, is it something like that? We have awoken like a sleeping dragon or something like that after
I
the
don't know.
attack
Oh
on.
yeah, I was gonna say a high speed railway thing is really popular because
Yeah.
remember whenever I was on the debate team, that the topic for that year was infrastructure, basically infrastructure, fixing the infrastructure, like just making the roads better and transit easier. And the main go to like default talking point or paper that we would practice on was this one about high speed railway, and it's supposed to be like the most like solid, like easily defendable because the plan just made sense. And yeah, I didn't went to a debate tournament, didn't win a single one. There were several the debates we were in where the I guess the moderator, whatever they're called, was like, you really had us, and we were gonna put to pick you up, but then at the last minute, like this, you were just a little bit too weak, and we're like, God dang it!
Just
But yeah,
yeah, Tora, which is a dramatization of the attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941.
I
There's a
haven't heard
line
of
in
that.
there that's something to like the effect of, like, I fear we have awoken a sleeping dragon, or something like that.
Hmm.
Yes, here it is. I fear all we have done is to awaken a sleeping giant and fill him with a terrible resolve.
I watched a World War II movie this past week. It was called Wind Talkers. It had Nicolas Cage in it actually, which funnily
Weird.
enough, yes, and it was about the Navajo Code Talkers.
Oh, okay.
It was a lot of just like sort of just like cool action shots and not a lot of story. I really wish they would have gone a bit more into that. Which I mean, I like. I mean, I sort of went into it just with the intention of having to watch something to watch to turn my brain off to, and it did that pretty well.
Yeah. Okay. Um,
Okay.
Another story you picked. Invasive species are riding plastics across oceans.
Yay! Another way that plastic is destroying the environment is by introducing invasive species.
Yeah, I believe I've heard about research like this. It's like pollution carries pathogens across the sea.
Wow.
Because you basically have, currents that go particular directions, and so if you get these organisms who are riding on trash, the current is pushing them in, like, from one continent to another, basically,
Right.
and so you end
Right.
up with invasive species, you know, getting pushed across oceans. So yeah,
Yeah, that's crazy.
that's
Um.
crazy, dog.
Damn, bro, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Damn, bro, that's crazy. When you're on your 12th, that damn, bro, that's crazy, and they keep talking.
Right. Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, this is. I mean, I'm not surprised that little critters are hopping on chunks of plastic and stuff like that because honestly, I mean that's how a lot of species spread to other continents by floating adrift on random stuff like what was that you told me about the monkeys that floated from Africa to South America
Yeah.
on trees?
Yeah. So the cool thing about the raft hypothesis is it has actually been witnessed on the island of Anguilla. Sorry. It is actually known the exact day that iguanas arrived on the island, because
Really?
after this hurricane, iguanas were riding rafts of, like, logs and plant matter across the Caribbean and landed on Anguilla, or Anguilla, however you pronounce it.
Where's that at?
It's in the Caribbean.
Oh, is it one of those like small island nation states?
Yeah, I believe.
Ah,
Here, let me
yeah. There's quite a few of those there.
see if I can get. Da-da-da-da-da. How do you correctly No, it's Anguilla. Okay, it is Anguilla. So yeah, it's a little tiny island. But anyways, yes. So the exact day iguanas arrived is known because they were not there
That's
before.
pretty cool.
So yeah, monkeys did it too from Africa to South America. Actually, more than once, believe it or not. So,
Right, you said they did like 2 or 3 times.
yep. That's how many times we know they did it. We don't know how many times they totally did it. So, yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool stuff. My
Uh,
gosh.
okay. Um, oh boy, here's a fun one.
Hold on, you're gonna have to run that back one more time. My audio cut out for some reason.
Oh, I was just moving on to the next story. This is a fun one. This is the.
Okay.
I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce it. Is it Uvalde or Uvalde?
Truth be told, I haven't actually heard someone say it out loud. I think I've only ever only read
Yeah,
stuff about it, so
I haven't.
I am not
Yeah.
sure. But I'm pretty. I think it's Uvalde.
This is the Uvalde Police SWAT team. This community consists of 13,000 people. This community of 13,000 people, good lord, people spends 40% of its municipal budget on the police. So,
And they have their own SWAT team.
so should we like? Do you want to give the overview on what happened regarding these guys?
So basically, another madman with a gun situation happened. This time at a school. I believe it was an elementary school, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, and so this dude killed 21 people, most of them children, and for about 41 minutes there. Well, I want to say I heard that the whole standoff lasted about 41 or 47 minutes, something like that. And within the first like 10 minutes, there were already like 19 officers on campus. However, they were instructed not to engage with the shooter, and so a lot of people have been painting this picture of the police standing by while their children are being massacred. And it's
I
got a lot of
mean,
people up in Arbor saying that the police should have ran in to help them, but there's other people saying that the police shouldn't put their lives on the line for that. But then again, that's also their job. No one's happy about this. That the police just look bad no matter what. Which
so
big surprise.
I mean, yeah, you're right. So there are issues that make this a lot worse for the police. Because it turns out they engaged with the shooter at the start, like they basically ran into him, or whatever, and he went inside the school, and then as you said, they were like instructed to stay outside until like SWAT arrived, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's inside, shooting people, killing children and teachers, and then parents start arriving at the school and try to get in to rescue their children. Well, the police start arresting and tasing parents who are trying to get past them into the school to save their children.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it doesn't look great. Now, actually, a couple parents,
Not a good look. Yeah.
right? Yeah, a couple parents did actually manage to get past the police and rescue their children. Because at that point, the parents were like, "I don't care if you're going to go in, let me in." So, yeah, doesn't look great.
Yeah.
Doesn't look great for the police right now.
No, it really does not.
And
And I actually saw. No, I was thinking of something else. That's my bad. Um, it's funny. Just a couple days ago, the new Stranger Things set of episodes came out. They're releasing them in two parts. The first part of the fourth and I think final season came out a couple days ago. I think on the 26th. And oh
okay,
yeah, we forgot to say the date. It is May 29th, 2022.
yep,
And yeah, a couple days ago, the new Stranger Things Part 1 came out. The second part's coming out, I think, July 1st, so roughly a month from now. And right after the little recap section, this little pop-up warning comes up, and it says something basically along the lines of, in light of the recent shooting in Texas, we feel the need to give you a trigger warning, as some may find this opening scene distressing, and they might want to skip it. And sure enough, once I saw that, I was like, okay, now I have to know what this first scene is about, because if they release this and like that happened on pretty much around the same day or like very close to it, that they felt the need to slip that in before this aired, like, must be pretty intense. And sure enough, it was a very bloody sequence of scenes involving a lot of dead children. And I'm just like, yeah, that was very, very unfortunate timing for the release of this around then. But
Well, you know what that
I
reminds
just,
me of is remember the scene from the second Modern Warfare where you like shoot up the airport?
yeah,
Well, like later
no
versions
Russian.
of that game, yeah, no Russian. Later versions of that game were like, if you want to skip this level, you can. Here you go, press this button.
Yep,
You
yep,
know,
yep. I remember seeing that little warning. I was like, no, I want to see what this is about. I already knew what the mission was.
right? Yeah. Anyway, um,
Hold
so
on, that actually reminds me. Oh, sorry, you can go ahead.
just I saw that the Biden administration is not planning to like investigate the matter at all, but it from what I saw the Justice Department is looking into the situation. Although I don't know,
Is it going to be another one of those we investigated ourselves and found no wrongdoing things?
right.
Because I've got a stinking suspicion that it's going to be exactly like how it always is.
So I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. Although someone made the joke, and this is a really bad joke. Like we're one update away from finding out police shot some of the children trying to escape.
Right.
Because there was and that joke was based on a press release. Now I'm not saying the police did. I'm not saying that. I don't think right now there's any evidence to
I
indicate
think
that.
you are saying that. No, I'm just kidding.
There's no evidence to indicate that at the present time, at the time of recording, May 29th, 2022, at 9:37 p.m. But there was a press release that came out, which in which it was said that the police department said we believe all the children who were shot were killed by the gunman, not by anyone else. Which I'm not sure what in legalese that's supposed to mean, but it kind of sounds like they're saying we don't think police shot any of the children.
Yeah, it's weird they felt the need to specify like that.
I'm not sure what all the background is for it, but just that seems like a very curious thing to say.
Yeah, very strange word choice.
Yeah, anyway.
But I was going to say, it reminded me of another show. So, also recently, the new season of Love, Death, and Robots came out, and
Yeah.
I think I binged all of it, and it was really good. I don't usually sit down and binge shows, but
Oh,
I
Ash
had
and I
like
did
a whole,
too.
I had like a whole day to kill or like an afternoon to kill, and I was like, screw it, I'm gonna stay up and watching these. But I realized I hadn't actually finished season three, the season before it,
Season.
and
Wait. Oh,
or
yeah, this was
season
season.
two, I think.
Wait, was this season 3 or season 4?
It was season three, I'm pretty
Okay,
sure. But yeah,
gotcha.
I hadn't finished season two, so I went back and watched one, and I found this. I forgot what it was called, but
Which one?
the I thought the premise was lovely. Like honestly, I know there's supposed to be like a dystopia, but I think I didn't find anything wrong with it. Joking, that's satire. So it's the one where they go around killing children. There are people
Oh,
that reproduce,
because they want to live
and
forever,
yeah,
right?
but so that they can live forever. And
Right,
I'm
right,
just
right.
like, you know what? That sounds great. A world without kids and where you get to live forever. That sounds pretty bitchin'.
Well, right, like, what was it? They don't want to use up all the resources by continuing to have children because everybody lives
Right.
forever, right? Yeah. That was a yeah, the main character in that episode eventually has a change of heart and has a shootout with his old partner,
Right.
as he protects the mother with her kids. So, yeah, that was an interesting episode.
Yeah.
Um,
What was one of your favorites from the new season of Love, Death, and Robots? I'm trying to remember. I really like the one with the rats, where the
oh, that
rats are
was
like.
hilarious.
I loved that one,
Like,
and
um, yeah, no, you're right. That one was great. The one that I really liked was the one with the crab, the killer crab, where
oh yes,
the
yes,
dude, the
that was
crew,
really cool.
the crew was gonna like take the ship to the island full of people and just let the crab
Yeah.
kill everybody, but the captain basically had to kill all of his crewmates and then escape the ship, and in theory, killing the the crab because he was a hero, right? But he had to kill everybody else to do the right
Right.
thing, basically.
Exactly.
My other One of my top favorites was the episode from like I don't remember if it was season 1 or 2, where the pilot ends up in the wrong place in space, and it turns out he's like way off course, and he eventually realizes he's in a dream. So he tells his captor to let him go, to let him see reality. So he does. He gets out,
I'm not remembering this one at all.
and it turns out he's in like a giant spider nest, and he's like skin and bones because it's been months that he's been here, like wasting away. And he sees the creature that's trapped him, that's been like taking control of his mind so that he won't suffer, and it's this horrifying spider creature.
Yeah, okay, I think I remember it now.
And it was just a fantastic episode. I loved it. It was,
I liked the Let's see. I'm a big fan of the one in general of the like the one in World War II where it's got the Soviet soldiers fighting those
yeah.
monsters.
Hmm.
I also like the one where it's the people on that farm fighting off those like bug alien
Oh
invaders.
yeah. Hmm. Yep.
One of the newer ones though that I found very confusing and didn't really fit with the theme of most of the Love, Death, and Robots, but still kind of enjoyed was I think it was called Jabaro or Jabiro,
Oh, the
the one
last
where
episode. Yeah.
yeah, the one where there's that lady all with like gold and stuff dangling over her, like dancing in that lake, and there's the knights trying to kill her. I found that one to be really interesting.
Yeah. It was like a what was it, a tale of two predators or something like that was the description. Well,
Yeah.
basically, the main character is deaf, right? And so he can't hear the siren song because that's what it's a take on. It's a
Oh,
siren. Well, he like tricks her into coming close, and then he knocks her out, steals all her jewelry, and tries to run off. Well, in trying to run away, he gets his hearing restored, and she like wakes up, realizes all of her. Well, first, let me restart. She wakes up after he's stolen her jewelry, like is hurt and shocked that she's been robbed, obviously, and so she like bleeds out into the water basically, and he drinks some of it by accident as he's trying to leave, and it has healing properties, and so it restores his hearing. And now that he can hear, he hears her song, and she calls him to his death. It was just wild, very wild.
crazy stuff, man.
Yeah, whack.
There's another one that I was just thinking of, but I can't remember it now. Shoot, it was one of the newer ones. I want to say, oh yeah, the I like the one where there's like the hive mind of aliens
Yeah,
because
that
they
was
were
an
throwing,
interesting one.
yeah, they were throwing around a lot of like scientific terms that I actually like understood. I was like, whoa, I actually kind of know what the fuck they're talking about,
Yeah, that was
or at least think I do.
it was an interesting idea because they were like the hive, the bee like creatures were like, yeah, you humans will, you'll come into contact with us and you'll compete with us in maybe a couple centuries, all right. But we'll win because we'll breed slaves of you, basically, and we'll use those to come after you. We'll use your own technology against you. And so that was kind of interesting
Right.
because they make a point with this little bug, which is like eating the guy's vomit, and they're like, the bee basically tells him, look, this thing that's eating your vomit, that used to like conquer the galaxy, but we beat
And
it.
then they assimilated it.
Right. Yeah, we beat it. It's ours now. It does not conquer the galaxy anymore. So, yeah, very interesting idea with the whole symbiote and everything.
Yepper. Okay, well, you want to move on to the next one?
Sure, the Good News Hub. A380 completes test flight using 100% cooking oil.
I thought this one was really interesting because I wanted to know what type of cooking oil it was, like olive oil, sunflower seed oil. Um,
Did they
shoot,
throw some salt and pepper in there?
yeah, is it vegetable oil, canola oil?
Well, there's been the talk for a long time now about like, running cars using vegetable oil, right? But
Hmm.
kind of problematically, you have to like have fields and and, fields like slash and burning forests to make fields is not good. And
Right.
so the amount of like And plus, it's not like super economic, obviously. So the cons definitely outweigh the pros. So yeah, it kind of makes you wonder. I mean, but it's cool. That is a cool thing.
Yeah. Welcome to Canola Airlines.
We don't beat up
uh,
our people, our guests. Yeah.
It's like a guy sitting down, shuffling to his seat in the first class cabin. They take off and everything, and as the stewardess lady comes around, she hands him a glass. He, not looking at it, he takes a sip. He spits it out. What the fuck is this? And it's like canola oil or something like that. It's like, I asked for a Jack and Coke.
Everything is like canola oil. Like they get little packets of canola
The
oil and
bathroom, the water in the bathroom is cooking oil too. If you flush the toilet, you just hear.
oh god. Yep. That's cool though. It's neat.
It is neat. Yeah, I was trying to find a little bit of good news because, obviously most news in general isn't very positive. It's basically just what's wrong with the world today. That's all it is.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Is this real Johnny Depp to be signed for Beetlejuice 2?
Yeah, supposedly, and I
That's
think that's
something, I
pretty cool.
guess.
That's very. I just thought it was interesting because I love the first Beetlejuice movie,
Yeah, that was
and odd of them to make a sequel at this time.
right. That was Michael Keaton, wasn't it?
I don't recall. All I remember is that movie had a lot of Harry Belafonte in it, which I really vibe with. So I thought it was really cool.
I think it was. It also had like a young Alec Baldwin in it.
I think so. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Michael
You're,
Keaton, Catherine O'Hara, Jeffrey. Oh wait, was it? Oh, sorry, Jeffrey Jones, wasn't it? Yeah, Jeffrey Jones. Oh, I'm an idiot. Jeffrey Jones and Winona Ryder. Yeah, she was the. Yeah, she was the kid in that one.
mm-hmm.
Yep, yep, Catherine
That
O'Hara.
was Winona Ryder. You're right.
And yep, it was Michael Keaton. Yeah, yeah, that's right. He was wild in that. Good lord.
Well, very wild and yeah, I remember that scene with where they're are at the dinner table,
Wait, hold on
and
a
the
second.
freaking the
No, Jeffrey
shrimp come
Jones
out of the.
was the dad. Yeah, he was. No, Alec Baldwin. Yeah, was Yeah, he was the old. Yeah, he was one of the old couples. Or he. Yeah, he and Gina Davis were haunting the house. I knew it was Alec Baldwin, and then
Yeah, yeah.
Catherine O'Hara, Jeffrey Jones, and Winona Ryder lived in the house. Yes. Okay. I knew it was. I knew it was him.
Yeah, I haven't seen that movie in like 2 years. But that was my first time seeing it in years and years and years. Whenever I saw it last, but because I was in a bit of a mood one day. I was like, I'm in the mood for horror because it was around Halloween time. But I also am in the mood for like comedy, something to like lighten my mood up a little bit. So I was like, Beetlejuice sounds like a good compromise. Beetlejuice is entertaining. I popped that puppy on.
Man, everything Michael Keaton is in is great. I love that man.
Good, good actor.
He's a great actor.
Speaking of horror movies, there's a movie that really we really want to see and might want to do a review on called Men by
Yeah.
my one of my favorite uh, movie studios, A24. They make a lot of great shit,
What
and
was
even their stuff that's subpar is still interesting enough to keep my attention pretty much.
I mean, we watched what was it, Lamb?
Lamb, yeah.
And that was a weird movie. Like,
Oh, I've heard this one is even crazier. I was reading the Rotten Tomato
well,
reviews, and there are a lot of mixed feelings about it,
okay,
which I sort of like.
I'll be honest with you. It's not hard to be crazier than Lamb because like it was it was not crazy. It until the last like 10 seconds of the movie. And then you're just like, "What the frick was that?"
Hmm.
Because we were sitting there like, "Okay, something's going to happen. Something's going to happen." All right, we're 30 minutes in. We're an hour in. We got 10 minutes of the movie left. Something's going to happen. And then, like, something does happen, but it's so late in the movie, it doesn't really matter. I
It's
don't know.
so out of left field that it's just sort of like what, and then it just leaves you with that. And I've heard that this movie kind of does that too. So apparently, a lot of people think that this movie lacks direction, or that it's just sort of like a chaotic fever dream, and that the ending isn't really satisfying. It doesn't really answer any questions. But some people sort of seem to like that. They sort of liked it being left open ended, whereas other people were, you know, expecting it to be a bit more handed to them. Like one of the people I read said that don't expect things to be a spoon fed to you in this movie. You have to use your brain a little bit and do some thinking, which I like. I think that gives the movie
Sure,
good rewatch value,
sure.
so you can notice more things when you show it to people. I like that. A24 movies are like that a lot. That was the case with Midsommar,
Oh god, that was a weird
uh,
movie. Yeah.
and I'd like to watch Hereditary again with someone.
Didn't we
Because that
watch that
movie
together?
yeah, we watched that,
Yeah.
and I've shown a couple of people Midsommar, including you, and
Yeah,
I,
that's yeah.
I know you thought it was really weird, but I thoroughly loved that movie. I
It
loved
just
it.
the whole orgy scene at the end, I was just like, I okay.
Yeah, that really broke up the mood of the movie. But honestly, I think it sort of fit the theme with
Because
the whole weird cult thing.
it was so bizarre. And then all the girls like crying over Florence Pug, and it's like the thing it was she felt like connecting with someone for the first time in years. It's like her parents died or whatever. And I was kind of like, okay, I get it, I guess. It's still weird.
Yeah, and
A
one of the
deeply
things
weird
I really
movie.
liked about that movie is that it sort of had this weird psychedelic vibe to it. Like there was always stuff moving in the background in weird, unnatural ways, and the flowers on her like headdress and stuff, and on the
Right.
table and stuff would be like breathing in and out, which is just, I mean, the really good replication of what it's actually like.
Yeah, it was just so strange. Good lord. But yeah. I mean, I
You know
really
what's
I didn't even understand. Maybe I'm an idiot. Could be entirely possible. Wouldn't argue, but like Hereditary made no sense to me.
really?
It made zero sense.
I
And
read like a very short explanation of like the lore behind
no,
it, like the demon thing,
I did
and
too.
it all sort of fell into place from there. I mean,
No,
I
I read that and I was like, hold on, I was supposed to get that from the movie?
maybe you weren't. Maybe you're. I think it's one of those movies you're either supposed to watch it several times, or you either have to just learn about it after the fact, which I don't really mind either, as long as it's entertaining to watch.
I mean, what's his name? Alex Wolf. I thought he did a fine job of acting. Like he's a fine actor. Um, but there were some terrible memes that accompanied that movie.
Really?
Um, that I mean, terribly funny. But like one was it was like I'm trying to think of it. Oh, it was like my summer plans, and it was the picture of the young girl, and then it was like summer school was a picture of the pole.
No, no, I had a feeling it was going to be the pole. Son of
Right.
a
I saw that. I
bitch.
was like, oh god, that's terrible. That's so
I'm
bad.
I made a similar meme because from so I recorded a video of that scene from that Harry Potter YTP I showed you,
Okay.
where
Yeah.
where the car is flying away into the
Right.
distance and then
Yeah.
an airplane crashes into it, and over the car I put the text saying "my mood," and then this was around finals time, and I had the word "finals" written on the airplane as it crashed into it, and they collided and they exploded.
Yeah. That's great.
Another great A24 movie, by the way, is called Green Room. I really
Okay.
like it because it has a little bit of punk rock stuff in it. It's about this touring punk band that gets caught in this I guess like a bar slash music venue, and one of the there's a lot of neo Nazis there, like a lot of neo Nazi punk rockers, and one of the bandmates ends up witnessing a murder from one of the other bands, and they end up getting trapped there and having to fight for their lives. And what's his name? Not Kirkpatrick. Sir Patrick Stewart is in it.
Really? Okay.
Yes, he's like the main antagonist. He's like the head of the skinheads, which I think is pretty cool. He's a he's
Very
got he's
interesting.
got yeah, he's got a very interesting role and like delivery of
Well,
everything.
that was being in like a like a neo-Nazi group was, I think, J.K. Simmons' like breakout role was he was like the head of a gang in a prison. That was one of his like breakout roles, if I remember correctly.
What is J.K. Who does J.K. Simmons play? What movies?
Oh, lots of stuff.
What are some of
The
his
most
famous ones?
he's the okay. So you've seen the State Farm commercials, right?
Yes.
He's the dude who does the State Farm commercials.
I can't recall specifically
Jesus.
which commercials that is.
Did you see 21 Bridges?
No.
Did you? He was Gordon in the like Justice League movie.
I'm not sure if I saw that.
Uh,
I'm having a hard time believing this is actually a famous actor, Jackson.
God.
I've never seen
You
him.
ever see Growing Up Fisher? He played a blind man in that.
Never heard of it.
Ah.
Silly
um,
games.
I'm trying to like think of. Hold on. We're gonna get to the bottom of this. We're gonna
You're
get
like
to
you
the
will
bottom
recognize
of
him, damn
this.
it.
J.K. Simmons. No. J.K. Simmons. What do you mean nothing?
J.K. Simmons.
I think it's really funny that like J.K. Rowling, the Harry Potter writer, is like real mad, real mad that like the new like Harry Potter movies haven't done very well, and she's like,
Hmm.
oh, it's because it's like it's trans people and stuff. It's like no, it's just because you're an idiot. And the movies aren't that good anyway. Um,
But what if this character was gay?
well, he is gay in the new ones, but it's kind of like you already you missed it. Sorry.
Yes.
Um,
She's like, but what if Dumbledore kissed boys? Wait,
oh
is she British or is she American?
no, she's American,
Oh,
but that's
okay.
very funny. He was J. Jonah Jameson in the original Spider-Man.
J. Jonah Jameson. Oh, who's that?
Oh Jesus Christ. There's
Or
got to be
just
something.
which character is it? No, you said he played. So J. Jonah Jameson was the character or the actor?
That was the character. J.K. Simmons is the actor. Oh Jesus. Can you
So
see?
J. Jonah is that the head of the newspaper dude? Like,
Yes.
oh, okay, yeah,
Oh.
yeah. The dude who does the wheezing laugh.
Uh oh. I screwed up. Blake, can you
You've
hear me?
done it now. Yeah, I can hear you just
Okay.
fine.
Whew. Got scared for a second there. I'm gonna find a picture.
Got a little
Uh,
bit dicey.
he like voice acts in like literally everything. Oh, did you ever see Whiplash? He was in Whiplash.
I've been meaning to see that movie. I've heard some stuff about it,
It was
but
really
I've
good. I
not
liked
seen
it.
it. Oh, also I think it's an A24 movie, The Lighthouse with Willem Dafoe and Robert
Oh, I
Pattinson.
never
That
saw
is a
that.
really good movie. Oh, it is. Oh, you missed the boat, man. It was free on Prime for a while, but that
Oh,
was months ago.
I can watch anything,
It is
Blake.
it is a great movie. The dialogue is really good, and
Do you see
it
it?
really makes you feel like you're going insane.
Do you see it, Blake?
Do I see what?
On Discord, I put his picture in there.
Oh, sorry, my bad. I just been resting my phone on Okay. Wow, he looks a lot different than the Spider-Man role.
Oh, he also voiced Omni-Man in Invincible.
Oh,
He
okay.
voiced Tenzin in The Legend of Korra. I don't know if you watched that.
I have not. I've rewatched a little bit of the original Avatar, but I
Good
haven't
show,
finished
good
it.
show.
I will admit I made a bad judgment call. I used to think that it was just kind of for kids because growing up, I only watched it intermittently. But then rewatching it, I was like, oh no, this is actually genuinely a really good show.
Oh
Like
yeah,
I see the hype about it now. Have you watched it?
yeah, I've seen both of them. Yeah,
Ah, cool. Yeah, I still have meaning to.
the old show is fantastic. I mean, the new one was okay, but not great, but okay. Um, well, I can't. Well, never mind. Anyways, But yeah, J.K. Simmons. He does lots of stuff.
Hmm.
He's
Hmm.
he voice acts for all sorts of TV shows and oh, you're starting to drop it now,
Sorry
Blake.
about that. No, no, no. I accidentally hit the end call button.
Uh huh. Well,
I was like, no, I did not mean to do that. We've actually had really great audio quality so far in
we
this call.
have.
It hasn't dropped out
Hmm.
at all, pretty much.
Anyway,
Talos has blessed us today.
anyway,
Did I
um,
tell? Oh, did I give you any updates on my turkey bone situation?
no.
So I'm pretty sure the anthill that I had. Okay, sorry. So to fill people in, I went to the state fair with Jackson and another person a couple weeks ago, and I was hungry, and they had those giant whole turkey legs that you can buy, like fresh off like a smoker, and I'm just like, I don't get the opportunity to have these very often, and I'm very hungry. This sounds amazing right now, so I bought it, and I didn't realize how big the bone was, and I was like, I like collecting bones, and always kind of wanted to make some art out of them, so I brought the bone home with me. I soaked it in water for a couple days with some salt in it, cold water, and that sort of degreased it and got some of the chunks off. And after it started smelling bad after about a week, I dumped the water. I was supposed to replace the water several times, but whatever, it ended up working. Then I used a power washer to get off a bunch of tinier bits, and then I placed the bone over an anthill. And I took one of those water containers that you see around like a office room water dispensers, with the little pyramid cups. One of those giant jugs that had the bottom cut off of it. I put the big round part of the bottom around the ground over the bone, and to prevent wild animals from getting to it at night, I put a large river rock from Arkansas on top of the bottle so that it doesn't move. And I've had pretty great success with it. I just the anthill I put it over originally, I think died or something, so I put it onto a more active anthill that sprung up in my yard.
Okay.
And the goal is to either I don't know if I want to paint it or try etching stuff on it. I don't know. I probably don't have anywhere near to the right materials for making etchings, but I could acquire those somehow or try my darndest. Or I don't know if I'm feeling really daring, I could try to turn it into a flute of some kind. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. True.
You there?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You there?
Yes, Blake, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
No, I was just talking good about the audio quality and
I
not cutting
know.
in and out.
You said something about it which jinxed us.
Not the big red bar.
Well, if you want, Blake, we can
It
cut
will
it since
pass.
we're at about an hour.
It will pass.
Blake, can you hear me?
All right, can you hear me now?
Blake, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
If
All
you
right, we're
want,
all
we can
good.
cut it since we're at about an hour. So,
Okay. Well, yeah, that sounds good. I think we talked about pretty much everything I wanted to talk about. Um, anyway, if anyone listening to this is actually
and we lost him. Ruh-roh. Uh, oh, there he is. Welcome back.
okay, yeah. So whether this is the first episode you're listening to, or the most recent one, or if you decided to listen to any of these, just thank you so much for listening and giving us the time of day to listen to us. And um, but yeah, just thank you all, and we will talk again next week. All right.